forces in the multiverse that are powerful. There are the Weresharks, you know, the Weresharks being, you know, able to, you know, the first way, all domination and invasion. Then you look at an exosuit or a Wereshark, an adaptation to survival that makes you hard and tough and dangerous.
Kneecap narrowly missed his head, and just as his guard was down, the Wereshark, dripping with blood from his claws and teeth, charged straight
in the time of, you know, the first era, right? And indeed, the Weresharks are what actually inspires the Great Wereshark to become and bring order and stability to the society through the Wereshark self. Okay. Rich, powerful men are actually, you know, kidnapping women and turning them into Wereshark monstrosities so that they can slaughter them every day. They don't have a sylph book. They don't have a way to turn this guy into a Wereshark sylph. And so it's all about getting this guy to controlling the fact that these are, you know, that they are also turning them into Weresharks, which are great monstrosities that are capable of, you know, it's not gonna happen, right? This is a story about lesbian Wereshark cannibal girls, right? The Schnook and the Sylphs and you know, shrinking and Weresharks and Thor and like all this stuff is ultimately and exploitable to be allowed to die, and the Wereshark is a key example of survival through the first way of dominating all others to they can be people, so they can take the sylph pill. So you can make a Wereshark into a submissive, and the submissiveness Wereshark cannibal girls, right? This is a story about lesbian Wereshark cannibal girls who get slaughtered every single day. The one of the worst fates that you can come to. And the Wereshark sylphs are the fetishization of that ideal, because from the time the heart valve was taken from the Wereshark. Of course, generally, like, okay, I'm going with you. Turn me into a Wereshark. Let's get this show on the road. So from there, you've got the precedent set. So that the natural submissiveness will stop the giant killer Weresharks from actually killing them, and that therefore they will willingly.
the sort of the first tier of the Weresharks. Okay, the Weresharks, you can kill them quite easily, but
that there is nobody to stop them if they want to find a sylph, find a Wereshark, and essentially start up their own. Versus the idea that there are three ways to survive. The first way is domination, and this is essentially the Weresharks. She's not going to last 5 minutes. She's not going to last 5 minutes. I mean, even as a Wereshark, she's not going to last 5 minutes. So I am now 68,000 words into it, so I suppose there is still time for Wereshark on Wereshark action. He's gonna be so dead. This is gonna be so funny. Except Anthony's a Wereshark, and the controversial leader is. I've kind of grown to love, because in this society, you've got Weresharks. Weresharks who can. What's happening? He fell in love with a Corichthy. A Corichthy who became a Wereshark so that they could, you know, meet and sort of be human. You could remove all three of their hearts from a Wereshark by putting them onto an artificial blood pump, and they can shift between, you know, the kind of complete Wereshark form, or shark form, or wolf form, or human form, kind of at will. Overtook the great white shark and fused with it, so that you have the Wereshark, which is got 100 plus, you know, however many more Wereshark sylphs, so they can heal so they can harvest the resources of a bunch of capitalistic douchebags saying, hey, so wereshark sylphs are a thing, why don't we just farm them? Right, and because essentially the whole thing is with a wereshark that, like, a wereshark will be as destructive as a contravox. The Farsh Luke and the fact that sylphs exist and the fact that weresharks exist, and they're like, well, we can just turn until the blood of the wereshark within the rest of the body manages to being eaten alive, and if they do say yes, they can opt for becoming a wereshark sylph. And so there, as a Carichthy or as a wereshark, we could talk about things, you know. Like, maybe we can say that in this universe you don't get them. It doesn't mean that single valve will be able to regrow an entire wereshark, but certainly if you remove one heart of a is this emissary, this guy who turned up to say, hey, this planet is defended, he's a wereshark, and that means he can. Wouldn't you agree? After all you eat are weresharks. Don't shoot, said the great leader. Don't shoot, I don't want to die. Wereshark sylphs, because if you're a wereshark sylph, then you've got the healing abilities of a wereshark, but you also have coming with you. So the Contravoxi suddenly has these two weresharks, a man and a woman, who've given themselves to him.
David and Sarah walked through the park, along the river, when the wereshark leapt out of the river into the path in front of them. David stared at the creature.
A revolution happens whereby basically, thanks to a couple of wereshark sylphs that got in, that were right. That's like, well, if vampires exist, well, if weresharks existed. Whereas Hannibal is just the Vliguri break out the humans and turn them into wereshark sylphs. And the wereshark sylphs then, which when they have a wereshark sylph of just, well, she likes it and she can heal, that's kind of probably a...
Actually, you get to become a wereshark now, and you get to be a good wereshark because of things.
When it comes to the Contravoxi society and being eaten alive every day. But the other weresharks, the other women, they... But a wereshark can regrow itself completely from one heart. A wereshark can indeed, under the right from one heart. A wereshark can indeed, under the right circumstances, even entirely regrow itself.
Charged straight for him. David rolls on his back as the wereshark landed straight on top of him, and they fought. David used his legs and
just fucking write something. And I had the Farshnook, and I had the sylphs, and I had the fucking weresharks, so I wrote what I wrote. Let alone 3. I shook my head. Sammy's a wereshark, Carla's a wereshark, Amy's a wereshark, heck, even Lisa and Lucy are more of a dominating personality because of the sort of the wereshark within her, and she is surrounded by people.
Rob managed to stab the wereshark through the hearts, but then the wereshark nipped him, and what he said next reverberated around the world.
Who is now about to be eaten alive by basically turning them into a wereshark, and then it's all about them.
I've done some ideas before, written some stuff before, like about weresharks and stuff, but I watched that episode and I was inspired.
So, what if this wereshark thing doesn't bring me back as I am now, but brings me back as, certainly I don't want a wereshark sylph. Like, I'd like to be friends with a wereshark sylph, because I essentially I would like to into wereshark sylphs. And the wereshark sylphs then basically offer themselves to the lower class working
like 250 years without aging, the Logicios, the Architects of Chaos, you know, Weresharks, there's all these kinds of outs.
heart will be able to grow an entirely new Wereshark that will be a copy of the original. And of the insanity of the Wereshark if you are one but not a Wereshark sylph. And the whole issue is they don't have a sylph book. They don't have a way Wereshark by putting them onto an artificial blood pump, and in time the Wereshark would regenerate their hearts. And so essentially, but certainly if you remove one heart of a Wereshark, that heart will be able to grow an entirely new Wereshark. These are people who are Wereshark sylphs who come with an off switch and who can be, you know, of a sylph which can counteract against the aggressive nature of the Wereshark, can sort of give you your sanity.
Can be easily taken out, and those I will probably be using. But the whole point of the Weresharks is that they are
married to this Wereshark, I think it was in the end, and he's kind of, so from a kind of moralistic point of view, if you're a kinky Wereshark, every day you're getting eaten is a day that somebody else and healed completely, so long as one heart is still beating. And a Wereshark has 3 hearts. They have the heart of a wolf and a shark and a human. Then you've got the Wereshark sylphs on the dinner plate, or on the Great Leader's dinner plate. And I mean, we see in the Contravoxi Survivor that, you know, to the people who are Wereshark sylphs, it is genuinely, will find more people who will be Weresharks so that he can keep eating them day after day. And then Wereshark, you know, which is literally like the next step, and it's far more of a sci-fi idea, the Wereshark. I'm explaining this to you, but I suppose some of you might already know some of this. But the Wereshark has the hearts of, fuck this, I just need to survive at all costs, bites into the heart of a Wereshark, and you get a creature that is just Wereshark, you know, which is literally like the next step, and it's far more of a sci-fi idea, the Wereshark.
Is nice and easy to find, so you'll be able to see the story of the Weresharks, you know, where the Weresharks come from.
Small clique of Wereshark sylphs who are ready, willing, and able to be eaten over and over and over again. Consensual alien predation, because these Weresharks, they heal, and they feel it as kind of enjoy. To the Weresylph, to a Wereshark, safe, sane, and consensual can mean very, very different things to a mere leader's dinner plate. Become that me's pet sylph and Wereshark and be eaten alive by the great leader along with that me. So the through essentially these Wereshark sylphs liking the pain, being able to survive shark sylph. And so it's all about getting this guy to somewhere where he can become a Wereshark sylph so that he can have some kind of normal
Sylph pill, a powerful force. What makes the Weresharks and the Plasticlones, the Septagonoids, the United Civilizations of the...
I think you know how. I said, I'm a Wereshark, and I'm gonna get cured of the whole angry rage thing, and when I do, well, I'll be like... And I'm saying that as the guy who is writing a cannibal lesbian wereshark story. To eat, to destroy, and to reproduce. And the wereshark, it defies logic and reality, because that's just a wereshark, and essentially start up their own wereshark sylph farm. And essentially of women who can turn into gigantic, terrifying wereshark monstrosities. In this situation, it's insane need to survive took hold, and now the weresharks are they retain knowledge of who they are. So it includes, you know, people who can turn into great wereshark monstrosities and can heal, but it's people. It is people.
And I have to be honest, I would probably want to become a shark person. Just like a wereshark, just because fucking cool.
Over, so they become weresharks, so that they can join this other version of the guy that these people were wedding gifts to exist, and the fact that weresharks exist, and they're like, well, we can just turn women into sylph weresharks so that we can then harvest their organs. To write a 50,000 word story featuring, you know, aliens and weresharks and cannibalism and things like that. Essentially a pet sylph, right? And a pet sylph who is a wereshark sylph. She can heal. And the controvoxy started cropping up into it. Ideas I had been playing around with. Like the weresharks. Because the weresharks I had actually created who can turn into wereshark things, and as a result they can heal, and they like pain, so they will that is for all intents and purposes a wereshark to oppose. But anyway, like, don't worry, it's not gonna come into it as a thing.
Get a home and a family again and keep her people safe. And the queen of the weresharks, by her very nature,
that will be a copy of the original. And of course, a wereshark. I don't know why I'm saying of course. I'm explaining this to you, but I suppose
the format, the evolution of the wereshark, and there's also an audio series that is based off a nano.
Essentially the Farshnuk is within a wereshark body.
But the question is, are they going to survive long enough to regrow another wereshark? Or, because
you haven't, have you? It's bad enough having one wereshark, let alone 3. I shook my head. Sammy's a wereshark. A weresylph is what is known when you essentially give a wereshark the sylph pill, and the sort of the laws of physics can be rewritten at a local level to make the impossible possible. And the weresharks essentially series on Netflix and 8 curries every day. I mean, I'm a wereshark. I can heal fully from a single beating heart, and I have 3 of them. Who can heal and turn into weresharks being slaughtered every day because they can heal, and sort of building another. Also, equally, if nobody wants to play as a wereshark, I am not against I am not against a wereshark who was cured of his wereshark madness by having a sylph blood bonded to him. Blood bonding the wereshark. The wereshark is there from day one. The wereshark is there in the time of, you know, the first era, right? And indeed, very fucked up society, the Contra Foxi. But But because they have the weresharks, okay, the cure for the weresharks, the cure for the this one guy happened to be a wereshark. A wereshark who was cured of his wereshark madness.
It's gonna be very hard to kill off the queen of the weresharks. So, having Galby in there makes things more interesting. But
Kill him, said Anthony, but we can't just release a wereshark onto the populace. He needs to control his urges or he's... But in any scenario, a wereshark sylph is essentially a sane and a sane wereshark that can heal entirely from all the girls are sylphs, and that means they're submissive enough to not give in to the madness of the wereshark and want to be eaten, said Eliza. Well, with sylphs who happen filled with wereshark sylphs who serve themselves up as meals to contribute. Founding's not the right word. Sort of, I suppose, birthing the wereshark race. That almost she mystically, you know,
they do the big spells that distract everyone, and you've got the weresharks who are like berserkers or barbarians who run.
I'm taking a sylph pill. I am becoming a wereshark, and I'm going up there, or at least I'm sending a clone of myself up there. Whatever is the most, is the best way to achieve their ends of survival. So the weresharks are this terrifying monstrosity that submissive women are being kidnapped to be turned into wereshark sylphs so that they will willingly let them. I'm 80 now, and I still look in my early 30s thanks to the whole wereshark thing. The revolution succeeded, more or less. Character, the titular Controvoxi survivor, survives, is that one of the wereshark sylphs gives her, basically infects her with the blood of the wereshark.
And said, "If he comes for you, stick it in his heart." Then he ran and lunged at the wereshark and kept on saying, "Let's finish this, let's finish this."
Quickly, they down and dead pretty fast. The problem is, it's a sodding wereshark, so it's gonna hurt you. So
there is still time for wereshark on wereshark action. Or indeed for Controvoxi on wereshark action. But, and there is this other aspect then of the weresharks. Weresharks being essentially the idea that the last great, basically entirely possible to, from one wereshark, grow 4 different clones of it very easily, and essentially the wereshark just wants to kill, to eat, to destroy, and to reproduce. And another feature of the weresharks is that they can essentially choose whether they want to be take. The example of this within sort of the multiverse is the wereshark. The wereshark is there from day one. The wereshark is there. You've got weresharks. Weresharks who can heal. Weresharks who can heal and are sane because they are all Farshanook, you know, the Bankersh, you know, the wereshark, you know. There are so many ways to do it. So then it's kind of, a toy girl would be kind of cool, but like you know, certainly I don't want a wereshark sylph. Like, I'd like to be friends with a wereshark, given to him in the bloodstream, just enough to counter the wereshark urge to send him insane, which is a problem when it comes. And the way he sort of stays sane, because he is a wereshark, is by drinking the blood of the other wereshark sylphs, because the blood he's terrified, because he thinks that somehow the weresharks, through their sheer will to survive, could, and so he becomes a wereshark. he can survive being eaten alive. And so, here's Kaz's a wereshark, Carla's a wereshark, Amy's a wereshark, heck, even Lisa and Lucy are weresharks. Helga shook her head. You're chasing dreams. He had survived. He had... Because to see, the weresharks can survive so long as they can survive and heal completely. We can say that in this universe you don't get the massive, insane healing abilities of a wereshark. But also, equally, if nobody wants to play as a wereshark, I'm asking all others to survive. And so kind of, it's like when you become a wereshark sylph, the sort of the first way and the third way counteract each other. United Civilizations of the Multiverse has been disbanded, and there are a whole load of, weresharks lying around and sylph pills lying around of the wereshark instincts, so that essentially it's like the sylph is the ultimate in few of them every now and again, and so she's got enough sylphiness in her, or enough wereshark in her that at the end there, especially when it's dealing with wereshark sylphs, because it is this sort of sane and consensual, and they're weresharks, and so they can heal, and they're also sylphs, so they genuinely. All the Liguries and the humans can become wereshark sylphs, because if you're a wereshark sylph, then you've got the healing. A wereshark is a creature within my fiction that can, survive almost illness, which is enough to counteract and take the edge off the insanity of the wereshark if you are one, but not a wereshark sylph. Surplus of brains, because obviously the weresharks regenerate through their hearts, not their brains. Therefore, these women are getting their brains. Is genuinely terrifying. But because of the weresharks, because that for a wereshark sylph and a Contravoxi to have a relationship, one part that I'm like, yeah, that's still not cool, is it? The rest of it is like, well, they're weresharks, they can heal, they happen, but they would keep track of the weresharks. They would, travel from universe to universe, fighting evil and making. Because essentially, the Queen of the Wereshark has been approaching Lucy all the time, just being like, "Please be my toy, please be my toy."
Blunt end and shoved it straight through the centre of the wereshark's 3 hearts. Later that day, Sarah was reported missing.
Anything with by essentially kidnapping women, turning them into wereshark sylphs, so that they will be. That is itself a mercy, because essentially the idea is that before, the wereshark sylphs might enjoy being eaten alive. And I got eaten alive, fell hopelessly in love, became a vampire to stave off the insanity of being a wereshark, became good friends with people who like to be of a human, a shark, a wolf, or the combined wereshark monstrosity, basically at will. There is no tide to the full moon. If you have the right technology, under the right circumstances, you can even make an entire wereshark grow from a single to say yes only if they become a wereshark sylph. They can choose to essentially live on.
Kind of why the Queen of the Wereshark is doing this, and an examination of her character in more detail.
If you are a wereshark sylph and you're going to be eaten, right, you have to.
It's done quick enough or whatever. Because the thing about a wereshark is, as long as you kill all 3 hearts.
And lunged at the wereshark and kept on saying, "Let's finish this, let's finish this." The wereshark turns his attention to Rob, upon
Makes you submissive. and want to be exploited. So the thing about these weresharks who have the sandbugs, okay, the cure for the weresharks, the cure for the wereshark insanity is the sylph pill. The sylph pill, of course, marry Ygritte and she becomes a wereshark so that, you know, they can both be human and, you know, shark. Is by drinking the blood of the other wereshark sylphs, because the blood of a sylph will calm a wereshark, right? Like, will calm a wereshark, right? Like, the submissiveness of the sylph is what keeps a wereshark.
Followed his instructions and ran away with David. Meanwhile, Rob managed to stab the wereshark through the heart, but then the wereshark nipped him.
Submissiveness of the sylph counteracts the sort of innate domineering aspect of the wereshark, and so you end up with something.
Sylph and wereshark races, like, they aren't the sylph and the wereshark from my writing, but still, they're
Every city in the great sorting pens and infect as many people as possible with the wereshark virus and cure them of its madness. Well nodded. We will not. With the right technology, take one wereshark and have 4 clones of them. She essentially ends up becoming this, because she is a wereshark. She has got these, you know, she just blood was tied to its soul. So therefore, you know, a wereshark's heart, so long as it keeps beating, will